Yeah. All right, y'all. We got in the house Erik Hargrove, the funkiest drummer in the land, formerly with Bootsy and James, Mr. Brown. We so glad to have you on Blues and Funk Legends.
I
Yeah,
am.
man.
I'm very excited to be here, and I really appreciate you inviting me on.
Yeah, man. Well, I had to get you. I had to get you. Sooner or later. And we're waiting on my partner, like always, Tony
TC.
Tony T.C. Coleman. He's always late. And uh, see what's happening today is that at our restaurant we have changed our hours. Normally we close at 6 o'clock in the evening, our time,
Right.
and now we're closing. Uh, well, I said now we're closing, but that's a lie too, because it's 10 o'clock here now, and we still going. So we might stay open to 11. We might stay open to 11 or 12.
Well, there you
Uh,
go.
uh,
Keep your
we
customers happy.
we got it's a thing here every Friday night. These guys with these little small cars with these big, humongous speakers in the car. Some of these things sound like an aircraft carrier, man. These speakers are so ridiculous. And right now in this parking lot, we have close to about 2,000 people.
Really?
Yeah. See where we are located. I can't take the computer out here because I might lose it.
No
But
problem.
we have a we're located at the television tower, which is like the needle, which was the first one built in the world.
Oh
And
wow.
so people come here from all over the world to examine this tower before they start to build their own thing.
Okay.
And so, and behind our restaurant, which you could take a rock and throw inside the stadium, is is a football stadium, or soccer
Nice.
stadium,
Right.
professional stadium. It holds about 11,000 people, and so we are like, I would say, kind of like in the middle of the parking lot, and the parking lot holds maybe 300, 400 cars or something like that on this side.
Okay.
And of course, there's always uh, people with people in cars. So roughly with the people, it's probably about 2,000 or so people.
So how's that working out with the pandemic and everything?
Man, it's crazy. Here we go.
There's a man there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, the devil in the devil in the
TC,
house.
it's been too many years, man.
Yeah, you better count your blessings, boy.
Eric,
Hey man, why you got on the red shirt, dude?
Sorry?
why the red shirt?
Ah,
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well,
oh, look at
Eric,
that.
what's
Red
up,
shirt,
Eric?
red shirt. What's up?
What's up with you, man?
Yeah, man. So I see y'all supporting me because that's my those are my colors, you know,
Oh,
red and
ain't that
black.
something?
So
Black
y'all
and
got the
red.
red on. Yeah,
Ain't
man.
that something? That's funny. All right.
Y'all done hooked up.
Oh, and while I'm here, before I have to take off, I want to say happy birthday to you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday to you.
Yeah, I messed it up. Yeah, man.
But
but I'll be jumping in and out of this conversation as we go,
Okay.
depending on how many people be off on here. So, Tony, I hope that your connection is good with your
it seems to
property.
be
Hey,
good.
Tony.
Right, it seems to be good right now. I'm out here in the parking lot by the DMV.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all gonna do your thing, and I'm gonna be running back and forth. And I'll see you when I see you, and Eric. I'll talk to you soon, and y'all can stay out here and talk as long as you want to.
All right. All right.
It's supposed to be an hour show, but we have been known to be on here for 3 hours or more.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, just talking shit and listening to Tony cuss and fuss about racial stuff and all that
Oh,
and
you better.
politics. Tony, hey, don't. I'm telling you right now, if he starts talking that racial stuff and all that, just hang the phone up. Just hang it up.
He might not
He's
get
an
a word
angry
in
man.
edgewise.
I'm not. I'm not gonna talk about anything that ain't true.
There you go.
Oh shit. Eric. So it's time for me to leave. I'll see you when I see you.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna do our. Hey, Eric, it's good to see you, man.
It's really fabulous to see you, man. It's been way too many years.
I know, man. Are you in Japan?
No, I'm in Singapore.
Oh, you're in Singapore.
Mm.
I love Singapore. We opened the first Hard Rock Cafe over there in Singapore. BB King
Very nice.
band, and it's one of my favorite places. We were in Singapore the day the young man got 3 canings for spray painting, vandalizing people's cars.
Right.
We were there the day he got those 3 canings.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember it was a lot of people from America from the ACLU protesting like, you can't do
Yep.
that. That's inhumane. They said, hey man, when you come to Singapore, it's on the manifest. Do not do this, that, and the other. And if you do any one of those things, this is what's gonna happen. So we don't. I love Singapore. It's like the most orderly, clean place. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
It is. It really is. Yeah,
It's
man. And we're trying to do like everyone else in the world. We're trying to navigate this COVID-19. You
how,
know.
how are things over there as far as COVID is concerned?
We kind of went through like everyone else. We went through a lockdown, and we've gone through a release of some of those restrictions, or relaxation, however you want to call it. And then our numbers started going up some, so they put some more of those restrictions back in place. Um,
Right.
and on the 14th of this month, they just relaxed just a little bit more. And then on the 21st, supposedly we can start gigging again. But that depends on how these numbers shape up between now and the 21st. You can't hear me? Okay. No problem. I can read your lips. So if there's anybody out there who's on the program, who's following along, let me see this. Check these comments here. Someone's asking when the next show is. That's a question for Waldo. So we'll have to wait till he comes back on here, and I'll have him read the comments. Herr Salitzer. Herr Wolfgang. I hope, I'm sorry for mispronouncing your last name. But if anyone else is on here watching, I'm here in Singapore. I am the former drummer for James Brown and Bootsy Collins. Waldo and I toured together with James Brown. I don't remember how many years Waldo was with James Brown, but I was with James Brown for 7 years. That was right before he died. While I was on tour with Bootsy Collins, we were in Europe. We were in Germany. I can't remember where we were, but Waldo came out to the show and hung out. So it was great to see him after so many years. That was back in 2013 or 14, something like that. That tour I was doing with Bootsy. If you can hear me and you're on the show, post something in the comments so that I can keep the show going by myself while Tony takes care of some of the technical difficulties that are going on. Anybody, post in the comments. Okay. Maybe Wolfgang he couldn't make this show. Maybe that's why he was asking when the next show was. So what should we talk about? Anybody have any questions? Yeah? I'll wait just a few seconds to see if anybody's got any questions. Yeah? Anybody that's tuning in from Germany, back in 1990, I was stationed in Frankfurt. I was in the Army, in the Army Music Kapelle, the 3rd Armored Division in Frankfurt. And it was one of the best times in my life. You know, I really enjoyed being in Germany, and you know, we toured around Germany and Holland and Austria, all these different places surrounding Germany. Unfortunately, we also had to go to the first Gulf War. But we came back, you know, safe and sound. And we continued to, you know, do our military duties, and, you know, we continued to do many fests around Germany, which were an absolute blast. I remember my first fest was in a hall. I don't remember the city, but I had never been to one. And I was told to not sit with the band, but to sit in the audience and watch. And it was just the biggest party, and everyone was just really enjoying themselves. And the band was walking on the tables, and the trombones were playing in people's faces and walking all over. Yeah, it was a really good time. That was my introduction to a fest. Everyone, all the fests after that were just as enjoyable. I hope I'm not here talking to myself. No, it says live. And it's been going for 16 minutes so far. Please, if you're just tuning in, please write something in the comments. You know, let me know that you're here. There's been some technical difficulties, so I'm here by myself. And I'd like to talk to some of you. So please share any questions that you might have. And we'll see what happens. Yeah? So let's see. Edit audio avatar. There's an audio avatar. No, I don't need that. Okay. So again, my name is Erik Hargrove. I am the former drummer with James Brown. And here's a little factoid. James Brown has pretty much always had at least 2 drummers. And I was the last drummer hired. And when I was on the gig, the other drummer was Robert Mousy Thompson. Tony's back. Except for there he is.
Hey, man.
Your camera's still out. There we go. Now I see you.
I've been watching you. I was watching you. I was on the damn thing, and it wouldn't let the host back on.
Waldo, you're muted.
Waldo.
Y'all ain't gonna worry me. I'm back here in the kitchen trying to work. Tony playing games with out there. Did Tony tell you that he just bought a ranch? He got a ranch. Tony just bought a ranch. Got 6 horses and some pigs and chickens and shit.
Oh boy!
No animals. I don't have animals.
Don't let him tell you no lie. He done sent me pictures. We got horses, pigs. In the morning at 6 o'clock, he looked like Mr. Green Jeans. Hey, I done seen him. Don't let him tell you no lie. Okay. Now I got to go back to work. Tony, quit playing with the goddamn buttons because I'm trying to work. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hey, listen to me.
Nah. That's too late. He left you.
Hey, listen, I was watching you the whole time. I was like, come on, thing, work. Get me back on. Okay, if that should happen again, remember, I'm trying to get back to you. But here, look, I heard you talking about you were the last of the hired of 2 drummers with Mr. Brown, and I want to say something about that. You were one of the where did I go there?
It sounded like you were paying me a compliment, but the audio went out. So I thank you for whatever you said.
You are amazing. You're a great drummer. You're one of the top drummers that play with Mr. Brown, and
thank you, man.
I mean, I've always wanted to play that gig, man. And the first time I got an opportunity to sit in with Brown was with you. Remember?
Was that at was it Monterey Jazz Festival? What was it?
Well, I mean, I've been backstage. I've been backstage hanging out with you guys. So many gigs, but it was in
Portland, Oregon.
It was in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle.
Right. At the Washington Theater or something like that.
No, at the Paramount Theater, and you guys were there for 2 nights. You were there for 2 nights. Halloween.
I like that theater, man. I love that place, man, because we stayed like just right across the street at the Hamlin.
Yes.
Hamlin, yeah, man.
And when the first night I was there watching you guys, and Mr. Brown looked over there and saw me, and then Miss High said after the show, Miss High said, "Tony Coleman, Mr. Brown wants to see you." And I went in the dressing room, and he said, "You know, it's good to see you. How's Dee Dee and how's your dad?" You know, because my dad created the mashed potatoes with him back in the day. The mashed potatoes, King Coleman, you know. So so we were talking about that, and I have a photo that night. I had on a green sweater and some jeans and a jacket, and he was looking me up and down. He said, "Mr. Cole, you coming?" He was checking me out. He said, "You coming back tomorrow night?" I said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Brown." "You gonna be dressed like you're coming to work?"
You can't be wearing them jeans.
So I said, "I will." I knew that meant to have a tuxedo on. I had my tux on the next night, and then you guys were playing, and he stopped the band, bam, and then he pointed at me, and he pointed at you, and you got up and you presented me with your drumsticks. I don't know where my sticks are back here, but you presented me with your drumsticks on your shoulder like that. That's the classiest way I ever presented the drumsticks for me. You're the only one that ever done that, man, and it stuck with me to this day.
Man. Oh, man.
And
go ahead.
And I'm telling you, Eric, I was so damn nervous. I mean, he cut the band, and when you had the drumsticks, my heart was going boom, 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 boom. I was going, oh my God, I'm getting ready to sit in with the man that I always wanted to sit in with. I was so excited. And then when I sat down, he said, so, fellas, I'm ready to do my thing. And when he said that, that was get up, right?
Uh-huh.
But I had a brain fart. I was like, oh my God, what song is this? Oh, you point at me. What song is this? What song is this? I was like, I know damn well I know I'm forgetting what song this is. Can I do my thing? Are you ready? Can I hit it quick? Can I hit it? Hit me now. He pointed at me and I went, get up. I was in the saddle. and then he was complimenting me on the stage. He said, I'm gonna be quiet, but I just want you to remember this. And then he was complimenting. He cut the band off. He got it. Look at that. That's King Coleman's son. And then I was like, yeah. And he was like, thank you, Mr. Coleman. Thank you. I said, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. I said, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Like, get your ass up. and then I presented you the sticks back the way you presented me. And that was one of the most highlights of my life doing that night. That was a bucket list.
Wow, man. It's amazing when, you know, we can look at, you know, our heroes and these people we look up to, and if they happen to be, you know, world icons, you know, and we're in their presence, it's just like everything changes, you know, in front of us, and to get to interact with them is just, it's a whole other thing. Now, and then if that person's a musician, you know, and you get to perform with them, you know, it's a highlight that you never forget. You know, that's now ingrained in your soul.
Yeah. When did you first get with Mr. Brown?
That would have been in 1998, January of 1998.
And how did you get the gig? How did it happen for you to get the gig, to be offered?
Well,
the gig?
I was living in Augusta. I was actually I was stationed in the Army in
Yeah,
Augusta.
well, brother too. 36K20, Big Red 1.
Big Red 1, my man. I was before I was in Augusta. I was stationed in Frankfurt, Germany.
All right, yeah.
Yes, I was 3rd Armored Division.
Yeah, you ever trained at Reforger? You ever did that training at the Black Bars?
We never went to Reforger. They had gone before the year before I got there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was.
And when I was there, first I was a cavalry scout.
Right.
So I was front line, you know.
Yeah.
But I was only a scout for 8 months before I switched over to the band. You know, so and that's what I really went in the Army for, was to be in the band. But some things happened, and I got railroaded and twisted around. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I'm happy I had that experience as a scout, because that's some serious training.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you were stationed in Augusta, and you were living in Augusta.
Yes. So one day a friend of mine, a drummer, can't remember his Brent, can't remember his last name. Anyway, he said, I saw him on the street one day, and he said, "Hey man, I just auditioned, for James Brown." I was like, "Oh man," he said, "Yeah man," he said, "they want me to do the gig." He said, but my band, man, we're about to blow up." And he said, "But so I'm not going to take the gig."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, ding, 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 ding."
Yeah.
The alarms went off. And the cool thing was that years previous before that, I was playing with David and Ann Weston, who both used to tour with James Brown. They had their own place called the Word of Mouth Cafe.
Right.
And they used to tell me these stories, and a lot of them weren't very nice,
No.
So it was in my mind. I was like, "Oh man, I would never go work for this guy." All these stories I'm hearing. But as soon as my friend Brent told me that he was not going to take the gig, all that went out the window.
You're right.
So I knew some of the cats in the band, and I said, "Hey, look, I'm interested in doing this gig." So they took me around. I went to the office. I got to meet Mr. Brown. Blah blah blah. Some months later, I get a call, and they say, "Look, Mr. Brown has 3 gigs down in Florida. You and another drummer are going to go down, and you're going to audition." And I say, "You'll either audition there, or you'll come back to Augusta and audition. But you're going down there for the show." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I get down there and hanging out with the cats in the band, and the next day it's show day, and they said, "Okay, you're going to go with the stage manager, the percussionist, and the other drummer." Which was, the stage manager was Ronnie Tompkins, and the other drummer was Robert Mousy Thompson, and the percussionist was George Spike Neely. So they said, "You're going to go with
Atlanta, right?"
He's from Mobile, Alabama. No, not Mobile. Is it Mobile, Alabama? But no, Birmingham. He's from Birmingham, Alabama, but lives in Atlanta.
Right.
So they said, "Okay, you're going to go for sound check." Cool. So we're there, and Mousy says, "Why don't you just set up the drums, and let's just play around a little bit." I was like, "Okay, cool." So there's 2 drum sets, and I was like, "Cool." So we're playing around, and Mousy says, "Great, man." He said, "You'll probably do really good on the gig tonight." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you said you'll do fine on the gig tonight." And I was like, "No, I'm not playing the gig. I'm just here to audition. Me and somebody else." Mousy said, "Well, there ain't nobody else. They didn't tell me there's anybody else coming. And as far as I know, you're playing the gig." So I'm like, "Whoa." I was like, "Okay." So the rest of the band comes in, everybody does sound check, and then Mr. Brown comes in.
Right.
And he comes in, he gets behind the organ, and he's playing around. He's looking around at everybody, and he sees me, and he says, "Come here, son." So I go up and shake his hand and say, "How you doing, Mr. Brown?" He says, "Son, I heard a lot about you. Let's see what you can do." So he had the band play one of the segues that he uses. He had Mousy play it.
Which one was it?
I don't remember which one it was.
You guys had one that goes, ba-dum-bum, ba-da-dum-bum-bum.
Yeah, that's before Doing It to Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he had Mousy play it. And I had never heard it before. And I was like, okay. He said, "Son, now you play it." So I played it with the band. And I didn't play it perfect. And he said, "Son, welcome aboard." And that was it. And I was like, wow, I'm in the band. I didn't know what to do. You know? So that was it. That was my start. January 2nd or 3rd of 1998.
You know, here's the thing. People don't know that Melvin Parker, Mayfield's brother, he was hot dogging it on Shindig, man. When they did that not Shindig, but that thing they did, that show that the Rolling Stones was on it and a lot of different artists.
I don't know what that would be.
But that's the one where the Rolling Stones was on, and Mr. Brown said he wore that show out, would make sure that they had to work when they got up there. But Mayfield's brother, Melvin Parker, people don't talk about Melvin enough. Melvin was a bad man in that band.
Oh yeah. There were some serious drum legends. I mean, a lot of musician legends, you know, from Mr. Brown's band. But yeah, I mean, you can't talk about JB drummers without talking about Melvin Parker. There's no way.
But you know, I love Mr. Jabbo Starks. He was my uncle. He was my big brother, and a lot of people like to talk about Mr. Starks, Jabbo,
the Tammy Show.
Of course, they like to talk about the Tammy Show, right? And they love to talk about Mr. Clyde Stubblefield, and I get it. But Mayfield's brother, Melvin Parker, was a bad man.
Oh yeah,
you know, people seem to forget. Oh yeah, I love his style, man. He had a skippity kind of feel. It was like woo.
Oh yeah.
And so you guys used to do the thing where what would make him decide who to play at what song, and what would happen? Would you just I watch you guys just be watching, and then he'll flip it over to you. What would be the reason? Do you know what that was about?
So, I mean, a lot of people ask that question, you know, well, why did he have two drummers and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So he had what he had in his mind. So if for whatever reason he wasn't hearing what he wanted from the drummer, that could be one reason. It could be the sound. Maybe stuff wasn't EQ'd right, and he wanted the other drummer to play to see if that sound was better. Me and Mousy had different songs that we normally played, and sometimes we would split the song. Sometimes Mousy would open with the song, and I would continue with it, or vice versa.
Right.
There was maybe one drummer was already playing too much, and he wanted to give him a break, and he would switch. Maybe he wanted a different feel that night. He would switch.
Right.
You know.
But it was no consistent reason. I mean, I know the combinations like Tony Cook and what's his name, the other brother with Tony Cook when they played together. What was his name?
Arthur Dixon.
Arthur, he passed on. Arthur and Tony would Switch hit a lot, probably more so than anybody I've seen. But you and Mousy, you guys were kind of like balanced out, I thought. But with Tony Cook and Arthur, he seemed to work the hell out of both of them. But hey, man. But man, for me, we all know how much of a tyrant he was and all of that stuff. We know all of that negative stuff, and it was what it was. I mean, the man
Exactly.
had some issues. The man has some issues, but who doesn't, you know? But
exactly.
But we have to learn to forgive people for their shortcomings sometimes. I mean, but so anyway, whatever it may be, I love James Brown and his music. That's why I wanted to be a drummer, really. I mean, I always love hearing drums, but when I heard those drummers with James Brown, man, even at the Apollo, that first live Apollo record, I was.
It wasn't nothing. It wasn't shit. It wasn't nothing until Erik Hargrove got there. It wasn't nothing. Bye.
What's wrong with this cat, man?
See, that's why me and Mr. Waldo don't get along sometimes.
What's wrong with that cat, man?
He now look, everybody we talked to so far, he know that I love you so much. I'm gonna be. This is about us. This ain't got a damn thing to do with no horn players. It ain't got nothing to do with Bootsy Collins or Tootsie Roll, Bootsy Roll. I don't give a damn about nothing right now except us drum brothers. We talking drummers talk right now.
I hear you, man.
Everybody get accolades and appreciation, but we are the hardest working men in music business, the drummers. All drummers. So Waldo, while you sitting there talking all that bullshit, your ass had to do nothing but stand there and dance a lot when we still be working. So shut your ass up.
Don't make him get back on here, man.
I ain't worried about him.
But in all seriousness, man, you know, to continue on with what you were saying, you know, a lot of people don't realize that James Brown was more than just, you know, a world icon who you know, had some hit songs and this and that. He was one of the main roots of a lot of music that's happening today. He had so much influence on many genres of music.
Yeah.
Because the Rolling Stones looked up to him. The Beatles looked up to him. If Led Zeppelin looked up to him. If anybody who has Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, any of those people as influences, they indirectly have an influence of James Brown.
It was two black performers who were country artists. The only two that really worked at the Grand Ole Opry was D. Ford Bailey, a old black man. He was the first black person. He played harmonica and sang in country music at the Grand Ole Opry. And then, of course, Mr. Charlie Pride, who Waldo's ass worked with. But the only other black person who was not country, the first black person that wasn't country that played the Grand Ole Opry, you know who that was, don't you? Mr. James Brown. The first. And I've done the Grand Ole Opry twice with Jamie Johnson, a country artist that Willie Nelson introduced me to. And that's a beautiful situation, man, because it's like the cathedral of country music, the Grand Ole Opry. And we played all over the world at every great venue you could imagine, but I get to say I worked at the Grand Ole Opry. Bet your ass ain't never played at the Opry, Waldo.
Yeah. I think we did. Wait, the Ryman Theater.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Opry. That ain't the Opry.
Opry. Okay. What is famous about the Ryman Theater?
The Ryman is right down off Broadway, right down in the middle of the downtown area in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be the Opry, and then they moved the Opry outside of Nashville.
Okay.
Back in the early days, that was the Opry.
Mm.
But
hey, we got some people here that are posting some stuff in the comments that I wanted to give shout outs to, since they're following us and they're giving some comments and stuff. We've got Stephen Kickaboo Reed that's on here, and we got Mr. Otis Thick. He's the one that reminded us about the Tammy show.
yeah,
he says he's in Cincinnati, where a
the
lot of
records was.
Yeah, man, and a lot of funk that came out of Cincinnati. He's saying rest in peace, Bam. Bam was a young man drummer who played with Bootsy Collins. I don't know all his who else he played with, but I remember before I started with Bootsy the second time, Bam was the drummer before me that was playing with Bootsy, and he passed away. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he passed away.
Oh, my condolences to his family. Yeah.
So Mr. Otis Thick is here. He's saying hello. But yeah, I just wanted to recognize some people that are tuning in, and we appreciate y'all being here to listen to us talk a bunch of mess. And so Tony, tell me what's been happening with you, man. Oh, you want to ask? Okay.
No, I'll tell you what's happening with me in a minute, but I got to ask you this question while we're together. So I know Frankie Waddy was Bootsy's man forever. What's up with Frankie?
So the first time I played with Bootsy was doing a tribute to James Brown, and it was this huge thing because it was like 6 bands in one that were going on tour,
right.
and that included Jabbo was playing drums with one of the incarnations of the band. It was me and Jabbo.
You did it at the North Sea Festival, didn't you?
We did. Yeah. Johnny Griggs was playing percussion.
Oh, okay.
You know. But then after that stopped. Some years later, was it 2013, Bootsy asked me to join again, and he was doing his own band, the Rubber Band.
Right.
So Frankie was the one that was teaching me the parts. He was teaching me how to properly play Bootsy's songs. You know, that was a whole life lesson in playing Bootsy Collins music. Because you can sit there, you can put the headphones on, you can play along all you want. But if you ain't got the guy there that cut them records teaching you, that, you know, those are the lessons you want. If you can get the cat that cut them.
Well, just like any situation, you sitting in the drum chair with Mr. Brown or anybody else is not going to be the same wherever else you go, and each situation has its own formula and little nuances that make it be what it be. And when you look at somebody like Frankie, and you would look at Frankie and think, he ain't really doing nothing. I mean, if you're a drummer and you watch Frankie, if a certain type of drummer, because if you're one of those drummers that, like, you know, that exhibitionist drumming,
I understand.
Where you show all you got. But if you're into that and you watch Frankie play with Bootsy, you'd be like, that ain't very exciting. But you don't know. If somebody else get up there, it'll be like, damn, where's Frankie? Because I watched Frankie play with Bootsy, and they do some things. Dennis, of course, you know, Dennis with Parliament, but Frankie, it was a different vibe with Bootsy in the pocket. The pocket was real pockety. It was deep in the pocket, but he had some little accentuations that he played with Bootsy. And when they come out, boom, 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 bam, 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 bam,
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. You know, Bootsy. Yeah.
They had their thing, man.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
they had their thing, man.
Just playing the groove. Just playing the groove ain't gonna do it.
No, man. There's so many other elements that go into that, you know, and those are the things Frankie was trying to teach me, and then it took a minute to try and catch up with it, you know, and again, because I'm not Frankie, I can't do all that stuff that he did back then, you know, and it's
right.
Like I can see Bootsy trying to relive that and trying to capture that back, you know, and then having to make the adjustment to, okay, that's not what it was, but this is good. This will work. We'll make that be the new cohesion, you know. Then we'll put the glue on it and make that the thing now, you know.
Yeah. See, because Eric, I listen, and you do too. But like I was saying a moment ago, I watch and I study every little thing and how it's done, because you listen to those songs, you listen to the songs on the record, and of course when you play it live, it's like, yeah, we're gonna do that record, but it's some show business stuff going on that if you don't play that right, you miss the whole live groove.
Yeah.
Cause it'd be like RUBBERFANS, boom, 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 boom. Shit, that should be hitting, man. Pay attention,
yeah.
Bro.
Bootsy was a real stickler about playing your part, you know, and you needed, and there were these little nuances that you needed to do every single time, you know, and it wasn't like, oh, I can sneak past this and just, you know, do something else. They listen for those parts. They cue off of those little nuances, you know.
That's right. I mean, everybody, and this is something that I try to explain to drummers when I'm doing drum clinics. Everybody think, man, that's so boring. It's not boring, bro. Those things you gotta watch. Bootsy learn from James Brown. So Bootsy is like James Brown on steroids. James, I heard Bootsy explain on you can see on YouTube where he says, you know, James Brown said, no, son, on the one. No.
That's right.
So they play the one. He said with James Brown, the one would be like the presence of the one would be there when you hit that flam. You know, like let's say, get up, bum 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 bum. You know, now he's there with them. They was all like, he said that shit would be like from a grenade to an atomic bomb with them. So.
Yeah, you know, and it was like that. I mean, because Bootsy has 4 XLRs that go into his bass.
Hey man, look,
they come out of his bass.
Two bands have ran me from backstage on the side of the stage listening to them. Only 2, and I've been to a lot of concerts with every major, unmajor, every kind of situation. Judas Priest was so loud on stage. I was visiting Judas Priest backstage. When the drummer clicked his sticks, that was loud. It was like, clack, clack, clack. I was like, God dang, man, everything. When he hit his snare, it was like dynamite went off. And the only other bass that made me say, "Oh man, I can't do this," Bootsy.
Yeah, man. If you go to a Bootsy concert and you trying to do something with your phone, it's gonna be distorted. It's because there's too much bass. You can't record a Bootsy show from your phone in the audience. You can forget it.
And I try to be finesse, and I know with Mr. Brown and all that, he played a lot of finesse with the James Brown band because it's just like anything else, dynamics based on how you feel that day. You know, You don't have no set list. You don't have a set list. It depends on how he feels. You read the audience. If something ain't happening, people don't understand. He's reading the audience. He's looking and checking everything. And if he feels like what I'm doing right now is touching him, so, get up. You know, you got to get on it.
Yeah.
You can't be looking at a damn. I be laughing at people talking about beats per minute. I mean, man, that BPM shit don't work up there with us, man. Beats per minute. That man, if you listen to the record, and then BB used to do it. Every musician, black musician. I keep putting emphasis on our culture. Every musician, black people, they deal with their feeling, man. How they feel at that moment. It ain't gonna be the same every day. Sometimes BB, you know, the thrill is gone might be boom, 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 boom. BB might boom, boom, thrill is gone, thrill is gone away. I mean, like, God dang, man, what are we doing? The rap version or something? he let the good times roll and be like, let the good times roll. The next day, let's get that roll. Let's get that roll. I don't care if you let it roll. Everybody, let's get that roll. God dang, man.
Hey, you know, and that was their show, and they did what they felt, or they did things that people didn't realize. They had reasons for doing those things. Just like you were asking me about how did we switch in and out. He had reasons. We didn't always know what those reasons were. Sometimes they were obvious. Sometimes they weren't. You know. But it was like, they're going to do what they're going to do, and you got to be right there with them.
I also know that Fred Wesley said he didn't like working with James Brown and James Brown's music. Like I've had conversation with Mr. Wesley, and I said, "Hey man," he said, "Hey man, I don't really like that. I don't really like it." And I'd be like, "Really, man? You got to be kidding me!" Because whatever you got to say about Mr. Brown, he put them on the map, man. Fred Wesley, he was doing what Prince was trying to do with Apollonia 6, Vanity 6, The Time. James Brown was already doing that. Maceo and the Max, Fred Wesley, Marble Hitton. He already had Bobby Bird. You know, he had a bunch of little bands within his unit. You know.
Yeah. Lynn Collins.
So, you know, I know that George Clinton copied that idea too. George Clinton had his whole Parliament Funkadelic was Parliament Funkadelic, Bootsy's Rubber Band, Bootsy Collins, the Parlettes, Twenty Horns. You know, he had one group, and they all were the same group with different names and playing different things.
Yeah. And Mr. Brown did that. You know, he had his band backing up those different proteges that he was bringing forward, and but people also have to realize that as great as Mr. Brown was, he didn't do it by himself. You know,
no.
Mr. Pee Wee Ellis and Fred Wesley and a lot of other cats, they helped make that sound. You know, they were integral in creating the funk. You know,
and see that's why we're trying to do this thing where we talk amongst ourselves, the musicians, under the umbrella of these artists. You know, whatever Mr. Brown was, he wouldn't have been nothing without those people you just named.
Right.
They created his sound. Now, he may have made suggestions and this, that, and the other, but if it wasn't those individuals, those sounds wouldn't have existed. Those styles wouldn't have existed. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, because he had a lot of stuff in his head. He had a lot of music in his head trying to get it out. You know, he had to voice it out to those musicians, and they had to interpret it.
Yes.
You know, and make it into either what he was actually hearing or what he was willing to accept. If it wasn't,
I went somewhere.
What happened?
Oh, I was looking at the chat thing.
Oh yeah. So either they played what was actually in his head, or if it wasn't exactly what was in his head, it was good enough, or sometimes better, where he accepted that and was like, "Yes, do that." You know.
Well,
and of course,
here's my
the
deal.
drummers. Go ahead.
Here's my deal. When the headliner like Mr. Brown passed and Mr. B.B. King and Mr. Bobby Bland or Prince or whoever,
yeah.
Where I have a little bitter attitude is John Blackwell was as big as Prince as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that music.
I hear you.
But if you ask the average person, who is John Blackwell? Who? I don't know. Who is John Blackwell? Be like, what? John Blackwell was one of the baddest drummers ever in the world. The funkiest, baddest cat. And he told me a few things about the situation working with Prince, and it wasn't all pretty. Yeah, it wasn't all nice,
But
Prince, you know what I'm talking about.
Everything he told me were the things that I experienced with James Brown.
Exactly, and see that's why a lot of people who like B. King or whoever get pissed off at me for being like, man, fuck that. I wasn't taking no shit. B.B. King fired me 5 times because I wouldn't take no bullshit. See, they know Mr. B.B. King like this. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, B.B. King is such a nice gentleman. B.B. my asshole too. But the only thing about it, I was a young bull. I'll stick my horns in his ass. So, but the thing about it is, he respected me for that too. I would never kiss his ass. I'd be like, you B.B. King, but I'm Tony damn Coleman too.
You
hired me because I'm gonna play the shit out the gig. I'm not kissing your ass now. I'm not gonna do that. No. So I talked to Ken from John Millenkamp before he having a brain fart. Kenny Aronoff. I talked to Kenny Aronoff one time. He was like, I remember when they first started out, and then he left band, and he's been doing really well on his own. But Kenny Aronoff used to say, "Yeah, John Cougar military camp." he said John Cougar be a flaming asshole, But he went away from that, and he's established himself as one of the top drummers in rock and roll, But
right.
I think when you go see a band, I don't care who the band is or who the artist is, and it's really gotten bad today, especially in country music. They could give a shit about the band. The band is all the way in the back in these pop rock country bands. They don't give a shit who's out there playing. And the artist is like the band's back there, and the light is just on the artist.
Yeah, a lot of times, they don't. A lot of times, some of those those entities who are producing these artists, they don't want any other of the band members to shine like that, they to overshadow it at any point in time, because then they can go off on their own and whatever else, and they got their reasons, and it ain't right, it's because it's the sidemen that make it happen.
I miss the days of black music soul bands like Mr. Brown and all of that, and BBK, whoever. But all the black bands, there was a time when there was a black band happening, like Kool and the Gang. When you looked at the album cover on Kool and the Gang, you saw the whole band. When you looked at Earth, Wind, and Fire, you saw the whole band. You knew, yeah, that's Johnny Graham, and that's Al McKay right there on guitar, and that's Berdine White, and that's Larry Dunn. Oh, and those are the Phoenix Horns. That's Louis Satterfield, Michael Harris. That's you look at the band, and it mattered who was up there.
And you know what part of that came from is because back in the day, black people couldn't have their face on records.
Exactly. You didn't know who they didn't even get credit on who was playing with the artist.
James Brown couldn't have his face on his records at first.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yep.
So now it's like, oh, we got our own now. We're gonna show everybody.
Yeah. So where did you start out playing drums? What inspired you to want to be a drummer? How young were you? How old were you?
Man, this is a whole coming full circle kind of story. So when I was in grade school, I was in 4th grade, and the high school came to the elementary school, and it was this whole join the band campaign. So they had all these songs featuring different instruments. And when they got to the drums, they had 2 drummers. And later these guys became friends of mine. But they played the theme to Hill Street Blues.
Okay.
Yeah. And give me a minute because I need to look up anyway. And so every little kid wanted to play the drums, right? So there was a line that you had to go see the band director.
Right.
And the band director called you in there and he said, okay, what instrument do you want to play? And every kid was saying the drums because these 2 drummers played a synchronized solo.
Right.
In the middle of the theme for Hill Street Blues. So I get in there and he says, okay, what instrument do you want to play? I said, I want to play the drums. He said, look, we've had a million kids in here already wanting to play the drums. You have to pick something else. He said, look, you look like you got good lips. Maybe you should play trombone or trumpet or something like that. I was like, no. I said, I want to play the drums. He said, you can't pick drums. You have to pick something else. I was like, no, drums. And he was like, okay, fine. So he got me out of there. And out of all those hundreds of kids who wanted to play drums, there was only about 10 of us that actually stuck with it, through that next year.
Right.
So later on, what happens? I go to play with James Brown, 2 drummers. Also, we did a private gig where Jim Belushi's band was also on this private affair. And the drummer,
he lives out here in Oregon.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's got a marijuana farm out here.
He's making some money then, huh?
Oh yeah.
And so the drummer for that band was talking to me and Mousy and was asking questions about drumming and that. And he says, he says, you know, what got you into drumming? And I told him the same story. And he says, I'm going to let you in on the secret. I'm the drummer who cut Hill Street Blues, the recording. I'm the drummer you hear on that recording. So that's the full circle, you know.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I can't pull up his name. I'm trying to go on Facebook and look for his name. I can't find his name, but yeah. Anyway, so that's the full circle. So that's what made me play drums. These two drummers doing a synchronized solo to the theme to Hill Street Blues.
Right. That's cool. The first band I played in was a two-drummer band. When I was growing up in Florida, in Kissimmee, Florida, next to Orlando, Florida, every band, I don't know why, but every band was trying to be like James Brown. Every band had to have at least 5 horn players, at least.
Well, you know why.
You had to have 5 horns.
Sorry, go ahead.
You had to have a B3 player and a keyboard player that played Fender Rhodes and clav. And you had to have 2 guitar players, bass, and some background singers, and the front singer. And so it was, you know, every band had that kind of musician. And when I think about it, how the hell did we get paid, man? I'm like, what were we getting paid? $5 a guy or something? but you know, then people try to did these funk bands and replace them with keyboards, and it just don't work. I don't care what nobody say. That just ain't happening. Them damn keyboard. Well, you know, we can you know, program the keyboard to play the horn. No, I want to hear some. I want to.
I hear you,
man. Is there something about human beings playing instruments together and like you said, synchronized together? That's amazing. When you think about it, that's a band. When I look at these marching bands and these colleges, you know, Florida A&M or whoever or Southern University, that's amazing, man.
It really is.
That's amazing.
To have that kind of cohesion with that many people.
And then the hard part, that's why you end up having bands with keyboards in it playing horn parts, is trying to get all these different personalities to work together and live together on the road. Woo! Now you working.
That's a whole other animal. Trying to get everybody to be nice to one another, you know, and live together on the road. That's a whole other animal.
Yeah, man. So that's hard. That's hard. So you asked me what I'm doing. Well, I'm getting ready to build me. I'm getting ready to build me a recording studio, and
nice.
And I'm never gonna have to worry about if I can afford to go to a recording studio, or if I don't have enough time. I'm gonna have my own recording studio where I can record 24/7. I can fall asleep on the floor in the studio. It's mine, damn it.
Exactly.
All my musicians friends, anybody that's a friend of mine, if you want to come and record in my studio, come on. We just pay the engineer. You can stay there all night. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. Ain't no rules to nothing. It's gonna be musicians friendly, brothers, sisters, artists studio, and
very nice.
And I'm mixing different music together. I'm gonna mix country with funk, pop with rock, blues with opera. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna mix every reggae with metal. You know, hey man, my mind does not allow me to just stay in one position. I don't live my life like that. Typecasting. I'm tired of typecasters. Yeah, Walter, know I've been ranting about racism because I've been seeing it. I've been seeing it rear its ugly head. Because these Americans today, they never had to live through all of that stuff we went through in the civil rights movement, and we still haven't gotten over it, and they're trying to make it resurface again. And man, I'm knocking that shit out. Get out of my face with that. I'm not entertaining it at all.
Yeah, man. They acting like because they didn't go through it, now they want to make it happen.
Right. It's like and all this quiet shit, man. People just going around being quiet. Well, I don't want to talk about it. Well, that's when you see these insurgencies kind of shit happening at the Capitol, with a bunch of white people who are really racist and just don't want to accept the fact that this is not your world by yourself. You need to go away with that kind of mentality. So,
right.
I'm not tolerating it, and people got to stop tolerating it. If I hear somebody black say, oh, that white cracker-ass cracker shit, I tell them, if I hear a black person do that, I know, hey, man, get away from me with that shit. I don't want to hear that, man. If I hear a white dude, yeah, them nigga this, and nigga, hey, dude, get the fuck out of my face with that. Go away.
Right.
Leave. I don't need that. I want a world where, in my world, on my property, I ain't got no race. Fuck race. I go to the dentist's office, and I gotta fill out my name, my address, how I'm gonna pay for it, and what race am I. I put on there other. It's like black, white, black, Hispanic. Other.
Asian,
I put from the fucking moon, okay? I'm a moonologist, goddammit. What the fuck is that? I got a cavity. I need you to give me a cavity. What the hell my color and race got to do with that? So people say eracism, trying to say erase racism. My thing is erase race. I'm going to erase race. I don't give a fuck about no more race. I ain't fighting no more fights about race. I'm just not tolerating no more of that shit. I don't want to talk about race. Race is unimportant. I'm a human being. I'm a human, man. People treat animals better than they do each other.
You're right. If you think about if humans would stop fighting one another, what could actually be accomplished?
Can you imagine?
Because if you think about music, you think about the band, like we were just saying, making that cohesion work of all these different people making music together and then also living together on the road. If you think of that concept as a world kind of concept, where we all live together and we're all creating something together, like bands create music. Can you imagine what could be accomplished?
It would be so great, so beautiful, so fucking beautiful, man. Like black people should learn how to farm and how to do. We have black farmers and black cowboys and cowgirls and shit. We have black people want to do things that everybody else want to do. Why is it always like they say, today, the first African American? Man, I don't give a shit about that.
I hear you.
What? I had a friend, a very, very close friend. He was an engineer for Lockheed Martin.
Uh-huh.
And he got an award as the first, no, what was it? Let me make sure I'm saying it right. The top African American engineer of the month or some shit. And he had his little award, and I said,
"Oh boy,
what the fuck is that, man? Are you at the top? Why can't you be the top engineer of the damn month? Why you gotta be the top black engineer? Ain't you a damn engineer?" Yeah, Walter, we talking about race and talking about your ass.
Yeah, I heard you. But Eric, what I want you to do is tell Tony about, I think it was Italy. Tell him about the motorbikes. Okay.
What happened?
Okay.
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 So this is like my first tour with James Brown, or it's the second half of my first tour with James Brown, and we had been going up and down Italy. We were doing a European tour, but the majority of it was just Italy, up and down, left and right, east, west, northwest, everywhere in Italy. So we get to this small town, and I remember this. There's a lake called Lake de Garda, and we get to this hotel, and you can rent scooters,
right?
You know, and go around this little town and go around the lake, and it's really beautiful. So I say, tell Walt, I was like, why don't we rent some scooters and we can just like go around? It's our day off. We can, you know. So they take us down and they bring the bikes to the hotel, you know, and one of them, the guy said, look, this particular one's kind of fast, and you gotta be careful with the throttle. So I was like, okay. Walter says, okay, you take that one. So I take that one, and sure enough, I leave the little parking area and go out into the street, and that throttle not only is really fast and sensitive, but it sticks.
Oh man!
So the throttle stuck, the back wheel is spinning,
right,
and the bike slid out from under me, and now I'm in oncoming traffic.
Dang.
So there's a truck coming, and I almost get hit by a truck right in front of the hotel.
Wow!
A lot of the band was sitting right in front of the hotel having their drinks and smoking and stuff, and they see that, and all I hear is people pointing and laughing at me.
Woo! Boy, that was dangerous.
Yeah. So there was some other stuff that happened later on with
no. Get to the good shit. Get to the good shit.
Okay, so that was the first. That was the first thing to happen. That was the first couple minutes of having these scooters is what happened, and that should have been a wake up call to leave them things alone.
Man,
so we had these scooters for a couple days.
Scooter, I know you shouldn't have been on no scooter, man.
Well, wait a minute. Let them tell the story.
So we had the scooters for a couple of days, and after one of the gigs we did, you know, me and Waldo went exploring. So we're out driving through these roads in Italy, and just really beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
And remember, I told you that this throttle sticks.
Yeah.
So we're facing like this field, and we just stopped and we're just talking, and it's time to go back to the hotel. So we go to turn around, and I give it some gas, and that throttle sticks again, and I go off into the field, and there's a drop off. So I had to let the bike go.
Damn right.
And it just went over into the field. So I had to climb down. Into the field and ride that bike out of the field. I had to ride through the field to get out.
Right.
And Waldo just standing there laughing at me.
It was funny as fucking thing, but it was like Evel Knievel. It was like Evel Knievel. That bike went up so high, and it was pitch black. It was dark as hell.
It was nighttime.
That bike went up, man, I know, 20, 30 feet. And I was, oh, shit. And what the fuck is Erik? That motherfucker down there like he's picking cotton or something. I turned around and looked at he dragging a bike up out of the field. I think we left them damn bikes at the motorbike place and left town the next morning. Bike was all fucked up. It was tore up. And we just left them bikes sitting. Bye bye.
No, we had him at the hotel. The bike guy came to the hotel, and we sitting on the bus, and I'm thinking, oh, I hope he don't try and come get us. And sure enough, he came, got us, and I had to go pay him some money for that. There was a broken mirror, and the tail light was messed up.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
I do, because I had to pay him.
What do you think Mr. Brown would have said if he saw your ass on that bike?
Oh, bro. I don't know. I don't know if word even got back to him, because I might have been fired.
No, what would have happened is he would have took the bike to try to show us he's better. That's what he would have done, and he would have killed his damn self. That's exactly what he would have done. Okay, I'm back out of here again.
Get your ass up here. We don't need you.
Yeah, that was Lake di Garda in Italy. I can't remember what the city was, but Desenzano, Italy. My memories come to and Tony, I know you can do this too, where you just remember the smallest things about places that you've been when you've been on tour.
Oh yeah.
And you remember so much detail about things that really didn't have anything to do with the gig itself.
Right. I remember
just we were in your brain.
I remember one time we were in Switzerland, and we had a day off, and we're gonna eat at the hotel because normally we have our meals. The promoter would take us somewhere or what have you,
Right.
And they'd be waiting for the tables and everything be there for us. So we stayed at this really, really expensive hotel. I mean, a Coke is like $15 for a old damn Coca-Cola or something,
Right.
So the guys told me, said, TC, whatever you do, don't eat at that restaurant, man. I said, man, I don't feel like going out of the hotel today. I'm going to eat at the restaurant today. Y'all too damn cheap. Today I'm eating in the restaurant. It's all right, man. You look at the menu out there, man, I don't give a damn about that menu. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to enjoy the luxurious environment of this hotel.
I hear that.
I'm going to be the guy today. So I ordered me some fish, a salad, and you could order glasses of wine or a bottle. I said, I'm ordering me a bottle of wine today. $350.
You wanted it? You gonna pay for it.
So the bill, I said, wait a minute. The fish was only about that big. It looked like a bite of fish. The salad, the wine. Wait. I did. No, sir. No. So the guy saw me walk out of the hotel. He's like, TC. I was like, hey man, don't talk to me. They said, we dumb man. So BB's the kind of guy that if he hear about something like that, he's gonna use it in the show. Well, we had we're staying at one of the best hotels, and normally we don't have to worry about buying food and stuff to promote. But this night, one of my guys, he paid $500 for a plate. It was $5. It might as well been fucking $500.
Exactly. You went to it was a fine dining.
Yeah, it's fine, very fine. You remember those kind of things, though, man. And it's like No, I know exactly where it was. It was in Cannes. It was in France.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's amazing to recall those places and things, and someone might say something and it triggers that memory.
Yeah, and I had the same thing happen to me in Buenos Aires. Instead of me waiting to go the next day at the gig, we have people to do our laundry for us and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'll do it at the hotel. They brought every sock I had was in a little plastic shrink bag.
Uh-huh.
Every shirt was in a separate shrink wrap bag.
Yep.
Another $200 bill for my damn laundry.
Yep. We need to write a book called Lessons on the Road.
Hey, I got another.
Shut up! Wait, let me finish. And then when you check out of the hotel, the incidentals will be like this. You say, "I'm in room 1408," and it'd be like this.
Meanwhile, he's sweating.
Man, what this paper, man? That ain't my room. Yeah, yes, sir. It's your room.
Yes, it is. Waldo, what you trying to say, man?
All right. Eric, do you remember we was in Italy again?
Uh-huh.
Nothing was in the parking lot. No car was in the parking lot under 100,000. Not one car was under 100,000. Okay? We played downstairs. Upstairs was a club. Upstairs was a club, like a big disco. And RJ went up to the club, gonna check some stuff out. He got him a Coca-Cola, the small Cokes, the small Coca-Cola.
Them little bottles.
Little bottles. Bruh. He got that Coke, and the bartender, give him the tab, he said, I'm with James Brown. Guess what? No, James Brown was downstairs. Up here is something else. Dude, that Coca-Cola, little bottle of Coca-Cola, cost him 100 euro. Do you remember that? Or what? 100 euro for a little bottle of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I was just talking about that kind of thing, man.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys remember when we worked together in Italy?
That was before me, I think.
B.B. King, we worked together up at the airport in Italy, and we had to go through the mountains, and that was the worst drive. It was round and up and down and around and around. Man, I never got car sick, but I was in that bus. I was like, man, good God, are we there yet? And James Brown Band and B.B. King Band. Oh, no, Tony Cook. Tony Cook was the drummer because I remember that morning at breakfast, Tony Cook, I told you this, Waldo. Tony Cook said, hey, is the breakfast complimentary?
Y'all leave Tony alone, man. Y'all leave Tony alone. He
said it on the B.B. King Band, and everybody looked at each other And then he was a real smart ass. James Thor, he said, "Yeah, for you, it's contrary." Say, man, it was a country motherfucker, man. Is it I love Tony, man. I love Tony, man.
Man, I tell you. Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying the same thing.
Waldo keeps talking about Italy. So that same tour, we went out for dinner. We had stopped the whole band, and it was out in the country somewhere,
right
outside the city. And so next to the restaurant was a skeet shooting range. So I talked Waldo in there. So let's go over here, man. Let's go check this out. So we went over there, and of course I've been in the military, so I could shoot. But shooting one of those kind of rifles or one of those guns is a different animal.
Yeah.
And Waldo was like, "Oh man, you ain't gonna hit nothing. You ain't gonna hit nothing." And as soon I told the guy, I said, "Pull, boom!" I split that thing right in half.
Right on.
Waldo was like, and of course he tried it. He missed.
Of course he did.
He missed. But yeah, those are the type of things that come to mind, man. You know, someone says something, it trigger these memories, and that's why we gotta write books, man. You know,
because
we got to get these other musicians to read these books and to be able to tell these stories, like in this kind of form, and like you do our clinics and whatnot.
Yeah, man. Because when I was growing up, I had a dream and about doing what we've done and what we do, but I didn't quite manifest it the way I should have, because basically I did have parts of my life where I doubted that I was going to be able to do it. And you can never doubt yourself. Just never doubt yourself. If you got a dream and a vision, just wake up and make it happen, you know? And it can happen for you. And it might not happen for everybody, but at least try. At least try it. Don't, because how many times have you met people when we travel and play gigs, and we meet some people after the gig, and they'll come up to you and say, "Hi, Eric, you with James Brown?" You go, "You're the drummer with James Brown?" You go, "Yeah." "Oh yeah. What's your name?" "Eric." "You are amazing. I love the show. I always wanted to be a drummer." How many times you had people come up to you and say that?
Yeah. They said, "I always wanted to play the drums. I always wanted to be a musician."
And they said, "But I just never really thought I could do it." See, that's where you screw up. If like you said, the man asked you what instrument you want to play, you said drums. "No, I want to play trumpet." "No, drums." "No, saxophone." "Drums." So
I knew it.
That's the difference. That's the difference. When I always knew I was going to be a drummer. That's all I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But we go ahead.
Yeah, like just you were saying, you can't talk yourself out of doing something you want to do. Talk yourself into it, not out of it.
But something that people don't understand about people will look at us and say, "Man, these guys are really cool, man. They get to play drums," and that they don't know how many ex-girlfriends, friends, how many times you didn't have money, how many times you were struggling, suffering, how many times people had to lend you some money to help you get through to the next day, how many times everybody's saying, "You need to stop doing that and grow up and get you a real job." They don't understand that you be like, "I know I can do this. Just trust me. I'm gonna do this." "Nah, you ain't gonna do this. You just gonna be a broke ass joke." It's like, "No, I believe I can do it. I believe it. Nah, you gotta borrow money. You why can't you go get an ordinary job, be like everybody else?" "I'm just not built that way." What the hell is that supposed to mean? And then when you finally do it, I always knew you would do it. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Wait, what you the mother to get a job?
There were kids that told me when I was a kid, they said, "Oh man," they said, "Let me see your hands move." And I do that. They said, "Oh, your hands ain't fast enough. You can't be no drummer. Your hands ain't fast enough." Right. They was trying to talk me out of playing drums. And then when I had auditioned with James Brown, and I had people telling me, "Oh man, you shouldn't try and join that band. You know, James Brown's infamous and he's got all kind of troubles and this and that, and he's not going to last." They're saying all kind of stuff to get me not to play with James Brown. And I'm like, just the same as I told that band director when I told him, yes, I'm going to play the drums. I knew that this is where I need to be with James Brown. I was like, I'm not going to let you talk me out of that.
Well, I have to put this out there.
Go ahead.
Bill Cosby was good friends of us, of our organization. He was our friend, Mr. Cosby. Just hold on now, people. Hold on. Mr. Cosby was a brilliant person when it came to his art. I'm talking about Bill Cosby, the artist, the man who made the world happy, the man who tried to give black people incentive and inspire people to be the best they could be.
Yes,
that
sir.
Bill Cosby was my friend. I love that man. But that other Bill Cosby that did all of that stuff, I can't stand him. I'm pissed off at him. But the man had a mental illness. He was mentally screwed up.
Okay.
He was mentally screwed. Anybody that do that kind of thing was mentally screwed up. But here's the thing that kind of pisses me off. When I'm getting ready to go into the race thing. There's a lot of successful white musicians who are pedophiles in rock bands who I can say their name. I don't want to waste my time saying it because I don't give a shit, but Mick Jagger been dealing with little girls and shit forever.
Wow.
He been messing around with little old baby girls throughout his whole career. A lot of guys are in the music business, but I don't see people. I mean, there's connections of situation down there with. And that guy that killed himself in the jailhouse and was hanging out with Trump, and even found out Bill Gates was hanging out down there with us. So, why is it when black folks have issues and problems and screw up, they get killed immediately? It's racism,
They have to diminish our heroes. They have to make our heroes as small as possible.
And I'm not going to allow that. Yeah, I don't appreciate what Mr. Cosby did, but this and that. But I don't see where he shot somebody in the head. He did some ridiculous shit, but Oprah Winfrey was hanging out with old dude that they just locked up that was running all the movies. That was had the casting couches, Weinstein, the casting couches. But then she and Gayle King pulled the thing on R. Kelly, and I put my foot in his ass. But I'm just saying, make it equal, be equal.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Otis. Thank you for being here. He's signing off. You're right, man. Be equal. Have it across the board.
Be equal with it. But I didn't like everything about Bill Cosby, and he was a friend. I had his cell number. He was hanging out with B.B. King band like we talking now. But I know he's not the only successful entertainers doing that kind of bullshit. And a lot of them are still able to be who they are. So I'm not going to sit back and just be like, well, don't talk about it. Yeah, I'm talking about it.
I hear you, man. People have to understand that these people that we look up to are human and fallible. And in such, when they've done like great things like James Brown has done, like Bill Cosby has, you know, where they were world icons, but they were also helping Black people around the world just by being who they were.
Say it loud, you know? I'm Black and proud. That lifted every Black man up from his knees. Thank you, James Brown, for doing that to our race. You know, I mean,
you know, these people that broke the barriers, like Sidney Poitier and all these other people way back when, that whose shoulders that we're standing on, you know, we're fallible. You know, and you can't look at their shortcomings. You have to look at the great that they did for the world.
That's right. Maurice White, there's an interview on YouTube where Maurice White said, you know, we, Earth, Wind, and Fire, we did some incredible things, broke records. We should be bigger than the Rolling Stones, or as big as the Rolling Stones, but we're not because we're Black. People listening, oh man, come on. Well, the man told the damn truth, okay?
He did. They didn't want to hear it. Anybody says, oh, come on, man. They don't want to hear it.
You know, so that's why my before I die and get out of here, when I open my studio, it's going to be open to every kind of human being that's a good human being. I don't want to hear about Black. I don't want to hear about white. I don't want to hear about little green Martians. I just want good spirits around me.
Yes, sir.
I'm erasing race.
I hear you.
Because everybody's culture, I love culture, not race. Culture is a beauty. You say Italy. Man, that's beautiful culture, man. The food in Italy, Germany, you know, the world, man. The Asian food, Japanese, Thailand, Thai food, you know, I mean, soul food, whatever. Mexican food, yeah. All the different cultures, man. Man, all the different cultures is beautiful. You get so many wonderful things we can learn, man. That's why when I go down to Argentina, they say they have a barbecue. That's our barbecue. You have Argentinian barbecue. Man,
yes,
you meat eaters don't need to hear this because it's beautiful.
You would go, man.
This isn't a conversation for vegans.
Man, I went crazy with the meat.
This is not a vegan conversation right now.
Oh no, boy, the meat that they serve. Oh,
just the different cultures we have experienced through music. Music, man, music. We have experienced so many wonderful things. Playing music around the world, people we can't even communicate with them by speaking, but we can look at each other's eyes and feel each other's hearts and have a great time, man.
Through music, and those are the things that we need to start really using as glue for humans. These things that we connect with: music, food, arts, you know, all these different things that everybody does around the world. We need to start using those as glue so that we can become better human beings to one another.
And it's funny, Eric. I say this all the time. I don't care where we go around the world. If we see a musician, we immediately gravitate to one another.
Yep.
And we fellowship with each other. It's always been that way. Yep. The majority of the time, it's always been that way.
Here's something else I want to. It's a vein off of that, and I know you've experienced it because you've traveled around the world. When you go around the world and you're walking on the street in a place that doesn't have really Black people, and you see another Black person coming towards you, What happens? What body motion happens when those two black people pass one another? Exactly. Exactly. That's a recognition of
that. I got your back, bro. I see you. Me and you.
That's a recognition that many cultures don't have. And we have that because we were separated. We were taken from one another. We were separated. We weren't allowed to communicate with one another on the streets. Man,
you know, I was saying this on Facebook. When the young man got ran down, hunted down in the truck and got killed. Right. That did it for me, Eric. I went nuts on Facebook. I was saying, I'm sick of this shit. I can't take it no more. Ever since we've been black, we've been dealing with this. I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired. I'm mad. I'm trying not to get mad now. I've been having therapy about it because I'm mad, man. I'd be afraid that some racist gonna pull up at me at night, cop, and kill me. And people don't understand that shit. And like right now, and I hadn't said this guy's name since he hadn't been the president anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But if that dude, that dude's around us, man. Before he was a president, he was around all of us.
He was. Yes, he was. I had conversations with him.
Me too. That one son's cell phone number. The one that's mean, the real mean asshole acting one. Not the goofy acting one. The beard now. I forget it. But anyway, hey man, if that guy would have done the opposite of what he did, things would be so much better. If white people would say, man, this shit gotta stop, but be mad about it. Not, well, why do they want us to worry about slavery? If you stand there and say slavery is fucked up and I didn't do it, but I'm gonna make sure nobody else does it. If you just change the attitude, white folks who wanna always be feeling like, it's reverse discrimination. It's all the shit.
Yeah.
If you would if white people who are behind that dude and went in the fucking Capitol and did what they did, if they would have just stopped, paused, and said, let's figure out a way to be together and help each other. If they would have done that, if they would do that, this country would be so beautiful. So beautiful. But this hate business, and it don't come from black people. We don't run this country like that. It comes from racist white men. Old racist white men that keep that bullshit going. 20 motherfuckers can't even agree on having a holiday to honor the freedom of black slaves. What's the problem? That shit it's some crazy shit to me, man. Motherfuckers can't just be like, we're all human beings, waving the flag and shit. Motherfucker, I was in the military. You were in the military, ready to die for this country. And you did a good job. You was proud to be in the military. I was. I'm proud to say I was a veteran. I'm proud, motherfucker. This ain't just your flag. This is my flag, too. I ain't from Africa. I'm from America. No matter how fucked up y'all want me to hate you and be like, go back to Africa. Motherfucker, I ain't from Africa. I'm from Kissimmee, Florida, Osceola County, United States of America. And I kiss my black ass.
I hear you, man.
I'm just saying. And until we start hearing white people, instead of being angry about, they don't take over our country. Motherfucker, this ain't your country. So, I got white family members in my life who are not just black. So if it's only two kind of people for me, assholes and good people.
I hear you. And people can't forget that it's not just black people who have suffered as a whole. Even before black people suffered in this country, who was it? It was the Native Americans who suffered at the colonials, who suffered as the at the hands of the colonialists. Which every place that has been colonized, the indigenous people have suffered. I watched some documentaries on Australia and Aborigines. It's the same thing. Same thing they did to the Native Americans. Same things they did to black people. They did there.
And check this out. You go to a country that has no black people like Ireland, them motherfuckers still gonna find out a way to hate each other. And they're all white. They're Catholics. Can't motherfuckers. I'm like King. Remember the words of King, Mr. King. Not Martin Luther King, motherfuckers. Rodney King. Can't we just get along?
Exactly.
I hate nobody. I just hate the haters, though.
Well,
I hate the haters.
Well, we're gonna get along. We're gonna get along right here and now. Because Servaldo Weathers, the operating commander and host of this motherfucker, is got to go. I've been in this motherfucker 12 hours, working, sweating, trying to make a living so I can become anything like Tony Combs. You understand? I want to buy me some horses and chickens and pigs and stuff, see? There he go with his country ass.
What key you in?
Bluegrass fan. I'm in the other key. But anyway, we want to say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming, and we'd like to thank Brother Hargrove for coming to our show, for Tony's shit. It's sorry that I wasn't on the show, but I had to work, because somebody got to make a living. You know, like I said, I want to grow up to be like Tony Combs, you know, have my horse and pigs and shit, you know. But Eric, is to see you, man. And hell, I forgot that we had seen each other on the show you did here with Bootsy in Stuttgart.
Yeah, I ain't forgot.
Yeah. I just not thought about it. But Tony, this motherfucker here, I ain't seen Tony, but besides the time in Stuttgart, I ain't seen Eric in over 20 years. And this something that looked like the first day I seen him.
You know what it is? Cause he's got a beautiful spirit and a beautiful demeanor, and you's an asshole. That's why.
Thank you very much. And I strive on being an asshole to put up with some of my bitches like you. But anyway, like I said, thank y'all very much for coming to the show. Blues and funk legends, even though Tony's on here. But we want to thank you so much. And Hargrove, I'm sorry I wasn't in the conversation.
We'll do a part
Tony,
2 one day.
You know, Tony does talk all kind of shit. But I'll send you a copy of the video. But it will be on Facebook anyway for the next 15 days. But but I know it's time for Tony to go feed his pigs and shit. But my lady telling me that I got to go.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, the hell you did. Shut up. Yeah, you did.
See, now you got busted. Now you got busted.
Busted.
All right, busted. Fuck you. How about that? Bust that. Son of a bitch.
Hey, before you go, look here. Hey, man. Who did I tell you was my favorite drummer of all drummers? Who and why? Tell him.
You want me? Who you talking to?
Your ass.
Clyde Stubblefield. One glass up here.
Try again.
Tony Cook.
Try again.
Who did tell you presented me the drums? You know who I'm talking, asshole. Presented me the drums. Who said the only drummer ever done it like that to me?
Oh, that cat.
I thought he was talking about somebody else. I thought you were talking about Melvin Parker or John Blackwell.
Erik Hargrove. He's talking about Erik
on.
Hargrove. He still remembers when you honored him by handing over your drumsticks politely like a gentleman, and he took them and just done a fucked up job with them. And I'm sorry you gave it to him, but you know, cause he a blues drummer, he don't know nothing about no funk. He wouldn't know the one if you slapped him with it.
Come on, man.
Okay,
but
okay.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Today,
yeah.
I'm gonna let you go today. I'm gonna let you slide.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, I got to go, man. It's good having y'all. And just remember, we'll get together again and do it sooner or later. God bless you.
Let's do that.
Hey,
God bless you. And keep it real. And all you black motherfuckers, get your shit together. Thank you very much.
Bye.